So there are timestamps in the video, as always, so you can push forward to into the settlement or any year that I may do if this takes longer than expected. But I also do have a one last Alpha 2 video planned. I just need to make sure that, you know, things don't break, because they broke last time. But I think I wanted to go to Ashen Thicket, if for no other reason than it's closer to the seal, so we'll do that. But as we look at what we have here, Thunderblight shards, but really we're looking at the fewer cornerstone choices. We'll do one more prestige. Did I already do it? Actually, there's a way for me to check really quickly. Give me 10 seconds, please. Because I can check. Yeah, so we can just move on to prestige 2 now. That's perfectly fine. That way I can at least start climbing, because on this save file, I don't have anything else other than prestige 2 unlocked. So as we get into this, I think we were gonna choose the beaver fox one. 8 frogs is nice, but in this particular instance, I still want the beavers. That being said, what we get on top of that, well, I guess we'll find out. I take logs, or I'm going to take logs, and we'll take eggs and see where we go. I should take meat instead, actually. I realize. I think I'm going crazy. I'm going to take meat, and we'll see if I make the wrong choice here. But let's just go in, make sure that I've selected the caravan I want, and then we have to definitely remove the complex food and services, any service goods we have. But as we get into the forest mysteries here, what do we get? Leather production increase. That's going to be interesting. We have harpies as well, so we definitely get boots, ripped coats for beavers, but we'll see. And then sacrifice decreased. Reputation during the storm, no. Clothing, so hey, leather gathering, but we'll see. And then services, because services. I've been want to forget this before, but this is not, at least villagers aren't dying during the storm. That's really all I really care about. Although this is pretty bad too, so we'll keep an eye out for any service goods. But as we get to pausing here, do we get leather here, or is it just meat and... Oh, we do get leather there. Well, hey, I guess we'll find out. So really, we're going to get about 20 leather from both snake nests if and when we harvest them, which I should be. Especially because it only happens during Drizzle, too. So actually, I do need to think about that. But we'll take a quick look around. Oh, boy. If I want to cut into a Forbidden Glade, it'll probably be this one over to the, well, technically northwest. But we'll take a look, because we probably want to open these small glades as well, if for no other reason than for hearth space. Don't need to come to this dangerous glade, but we can think about it. And then, if for whatever reason I need to use more of the map, yeah, not really planning to branch out here. But we'll see. We'll see what the orders give me for this settlement. But as we go on autopiloting here, so yeah, we have fabric, we have eggs, and we don't have anything else for the moment. This is going to hurt rationing, because we have coats and pickled goods, and we are not letting them eat pickled goods. That being said, I don't have a field kitchen. I thought I did. Anyway, let's get into the blueprints. Well, we can. Yeah, we can. The herbalist camp is an interesting pick, but let's make sure we have a farm of some sort. Bricks would otherwise be my other choice, but I've started taking farms ever since a few settlements have not gone downhill, but they took a lot longer without a farm. Especially when I had fertile soil available and I couldn't use it. But out of curiosity, are we getting resin from the trees, by the way? We are. Not a lot, but it'll be enough. And yeah, harpies share coats as well. So the only one where we'd be missing... I want to use leather for the boots. But you will see. Trade goods is not a bad one if I want to go into selling, but we've already taken roots, herbs. So really, basically, tea would be a good pick as well for the service goods here, so we can get started on that. But then I would need to find something else. Also jerky here, because I have meat that I can use, so we can turn these 5 meat into 60 jerky, which will hold for about a year. But we'll see. Would be nice to get a kiln, but I don't know if I'll be using it exactly. Yeah, in the long run, what's the clothing effect again? Villagers move slower, which hurts as well, but I think we want to avoid the inevitable, or the eventuality that may be service goods. And then we have dye available too, so that we can make coats later. But then we would definitely need to make sure we get something. Plantation would have been nice berries for this, but otherwise we can, if we find a mine, we can get Thunderblight shards and then turn the copper ore into dye. I think that's the plan for this settlement. We'll see what this last blueprint is. Again, I don't need to be taking every single blueprint here, but I am. So I can also opt for a trapper's camp for quicker collection. Even though the planks are painful here. I'm going to make the call here. Otherwise, for safety, I would recommend people take cookhouse or carpenter. Really carpenter, because I don't have anything for planks, bricks, or fabric. But I'm going to dip my hand into the trapper's camp just to try and do my best. Now, we're going to double up on this just to be certain. But I think they can sneak by here, I believe. And I didn't flip this for whatever reason. But you get the point. We're going to use everyone... all hands on deck. I would have considered making 3 woodcutters camp. Oh my goodness, my words. Woodcutters camps. But that's not going to happen. So instead, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're just going to open this area around the hearth. And I think I'll have to be happy with that. This last beaver can do whatever they want. Could put them in the flax field for maybe extra insects, really. But... otherwise, I want to be looking... yeah, so we need bricks for this apothecary. That's something I often overlook, the materials needed to make the buildings that I grab as my first blueprints. But those aren't really a worry anyway, because usually, or at least I'm not usually immediately making said buildings. So, as we set this up really quickly, I think we'll unpause in about 5 seconds. Because we also have wood. Okay, I keep wanting to say logs, but you get the point. We want to make housing as well. And we can't really make any complex housing unless we have cloth, which we don't have. So we'll just set up these shelters immediately. Just 2 for now. We'll set up 2 more in clearance, and I think off we go. I accidentally put this low priority. Whoops. But... anyway, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but for the moment, we'll be okay. But yeah, as I said, I did want to do one more last... I wanted to upload one last full video of a DLC 2 run. I haven't really touched DLC 2, Alpha 2 Experimental Branch for about a week or 2 now, so... ever since I fixed, I think, the lead seal, because I didn't play with the consoles. You're supposed to if you're trying to bug test things, but I was just kind of going through the Alpha 2 branch on my own. I think there was one specific bug I ran into. I think it still happens in this version too, and I guess I'll explain it here. I'll try to recreate it from my mind, because I think I have the save file, but essentially, I put a building next to a tree that was near the edge of the map. So imagine, like, pretty much how it is right here. So there are trees here that was kind of jutting out, but then there's also a gathering node here. I think it was a stone node. I put a stonecutter's camp down where this woodcutter's camp would be, but nothing appeared. But then if I try to put something else in there, nothing appears, because the game treats it as if there's a ghost house there, essentially. 3 clay per minute would be nice for bricks. That's the call I'm going to make there. But that's essentially the gist of the bug I ran into. I don't know if anyone's reported it yet. I've tried looking for it, but I haven't seen reports of ghost camps. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. But yeah, otherwise, I would like to properly report the bug. I just don't know where in the save I would be. I distinctly remember. So, for example, again, we can let this run in the background. But it was near the edge of the map. It wasn't edge of map, but near edge of map. I cut into, I think, a dangerous glade. We don't need to accept these orders yet. And then, like I said, it was kind of 2 to 4 trees jutting out like this, as where my mouse cursor is. And then diagonally to that was a camp of some sort. I don't remember what it was, but I know there are gathering nodes right next to it. And I was like, oh, I'll use these nodes. I don't think they were 2-star nodes. They were just 1-star nodes. And I put it down, but nothing appeared. But the game treated it as if there was something there, because if I tried to put another building there, it shows red squares. So that was the gist of the bug I ran into. Again, I should probably report the bug when possible, but hey. But otherwise, I wonder how much leather we got. I don't actually know, but let's just move things around and set up this crude workstation, if nothing else. I will definitely need it. Now, will I get to use it in Drizzle season? Probably not, but we'll see. I also did not get a single piece of leather, apparently. Oh, I'm cutting every single tree, I realized, and not controlling them, so that could have been very, very bad for me. So let's not do that. Although I do want to cut close to these glades still. I do want to do that, but let's not cut into a glade before I'm ready. I think I was holding... That's a weird... Is this tree really part of that glade? Anyway, anywho. We'll continue making shelter if need be, but for the moment... yeah, only need this much. And I usually like to make a bit more shelter, but I'm just being really safe. I think we also have longer storms. Yeah, we have longer storm seasons as well, so... just need to watch out for that. Do we have any leather, by the way? I was about to say, how did I not get a single... Actually, we did. I'm looking in the wrong place, though. Yeah, I'm looking in the wrong place. Where is it? Oh, part of this. No, they just didn't deliver it yet. That's all I need to say. But yeah, these things need to be built. Preferably a makeshift post. I've seen, you know, better viceroys than I. Me? Than me. Set things up a lot more succinctly? Concisely? I don't know. Better and more efficiently. But at the same time, well, actually 12 is a bit to have, but I swear you can have more in a little bit more in the population once you're further leveled. Further leveled. Farther by just a quick little out of nowhere thing to note. I shouldn't be cutting like that. Yeah, farther with an A is for physical distance, like meters, feet, if you're using the metric system. But basically physical distance, and then further with the U is for basically meta distances, your mind, like just a bit further until I finish the story or until I finish this project, as opposed to farther, which is just a bit farther to until we reach home or to the goal, so things of that nature. Just a little, you know, from what I know from at least, I think it's American English, but also just basically Western English in general. But anywho, what do I want to focus on in clearance season? Probably this apothecary. Do we have enough clay to make these bricks? We do. That was a high voice that I did, but you get the point. Let's just make some bricks. Then we should probably set up this apothecary ASAP. If for no other reason to get it set up, but really just to have something else. Also, I shouldn't be doing... Well, we might as well finish this up. We can just move these immediately so they can deliver these now. But, you know, if we miss out on 3 leather, that is quite a lot. But we miss out on 3 leather and boohoo. Otherwise, the next thing we want to do is make use of these gathering nodes. Oh my goodness, don't delete it, me. What am I doing? And let's see here. Yeah, we don't really have anything else at the moment. We have a fox on the hearth. I realize that's a mistake. So we'll do this instead. But, moving on. Let's start doing stuff. So, I will probably need more clay, but for the moment, let's focus on planks, I think. Because of a thing. I just realized, yeah, that we also need to look at this. Gain 15 oil every something. What do we do? Every 3? Blech. Ew. I mean, glade events can include, like, even small caches. Smaller events. Every 6 new villagers. Every 5 completed. Really? This seems really weak, but maybe I'm just going crazy. I mean, it is... If I want something to sacrifice... Not sacrifice, but burn in the hearth. Sure. Otherwise, I think production speed is a bit better. But it depends on what I need, and I need to get mines to make use of these anyway, so not really a point for the moment. We'll leave this inactive for the moment. If we were on Prestige 6, where building materials cost more, then yes, I would care a bit more. But for the moment... Also, I haven't looked in... I should probably look into whether or not building the trading post earlier helps out with trader timings, but I guess that's a question for later. Also, I should have moved this woodcutter's camp earlier, but people are still delivering things, so we'll wait for that. And then stick them somewhere. Actually, I should probably have them cut over here to help out with hurt space if nothing else. But really to prep this area in case I want to cut into a dangerous glade for whatever reason. But let's actually make planks, because if nothing else, I want to set up this rain collector. Yeah, without... I would need to knock down a camp if I wanted to make this rain collector. I think I still will, though. Let me just do some calculations here. Yeah, so what we're going to do is put this rain collector a little further back. Question mark, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, because I usually like to leave some space in case I have a 3x3 or a 3 tile wide building or plus a 4 tile wide building like a service building. But really, it's kind of a guessing. It's a guesstimate anyway, so it's not really that important. I also could have saved on food, but hey, I decided on what I decided to do. The bad news is we will be low on eggs by the end of the year. The good news is we'll still have our meats, which is kind of the next important part. But again, we'll see what happens. I could also choose to double up on a camp, but this rain collector needs to be made. And if basically paths at -1 priority or lower are a good indicator to me anyway, to know that I don't have free builders standing around. If paths are already built, then I know that I probably have people standing by not really doing as much. That's the way I see it anyway. Again, people don't have... not everyone's going to do it. That's just my... if you want to pick at my brain as we're just standing here for a moment, that's what I am seeing. Or that's what I am thinking about, at least. But anywho. So if I really want to be a bit more efficient, I should plop someone else in here. And we can also start making fabric so we can make these harpy houses. But we'll make a few planks first because we need to we want to make this rain collector essentially. In fact, when this beaver finishes, I shouldn't have done what I did. I think they'll finish before then. How much time? Yeah, 45 seconds. This harpy should be able to finish this. So when this finishes, and when this harpy finishes making this path, I will plop them into the rain collector. This beaver is taking a break, but that's fine for the moment. Because what we really want to do is make sure we have this. So I'm probably just going to end up putting pipes in here because I did not take any plank, fabric, or brick building, which is not good. But I picked a farm, the apothecary for service goods, and I think something else in place of it. And I'll have to live and lose the settlement. I almost said live and die, but you get the point. Also, we do need to eventually move these people. But for the moment, let's do anything else instead. So I think we just need to disable one complete woodcutter's camp. Yeah, we do. If that's the case, we'll wait for them to deliver these. And then we'll stick this here so that they these beavers can take care of things around the settlement really quickly. Like building paths like this. But in the meanwhile, oh yeah, that's right, I didn't do the thing. Okay, now we do that and everyone's okay on resolve. And we're getting stormwater. We get a lot more stormwater. So this is the thing that I kept forgetting on basically Prestige 1 and below difficulty, is that because we have a longer storm, we get to get more stormwater. Now, overall, it's going to hurt you. I can't imagine higher prestiges giving you more, at least at the very beginning of a run, than they do. So what I mean by that is in Prestige 2, the storm lasts longer. This does mean you have to deal with any negative effects, and you can't do certain things that you could on Prestige 1 or below difficulty, where you kind of juggle resolve and just kind of lose 1 or 2 villagers. You're going to lose more if you stay at negative resolve because the storm is longer. But one of the positives you can take out is that, as you can see here, I am making more stormwater. Now, I don't want to use the stormwater yet because I might get an order that asks me for stormwater. So, also, that being said, I should probably do this as well, and we'll just make anything we can, really. So, as we get to this, still in the middle of the storm, I think I've just gotten used to muscle memory, my muscle memory that is in the middle of the storm, or halfway through the storm, I take an order. I like to wait about 5 seconds afterward, but you get the point. We can't take these newcomers. That'll push us to 1 hostility, which will not be good. Otherwise, ooh, we have to take one of these now. Blah. We don't have any trade goods. I should just take Problem Solver instead. I might not be able to do 3 Glade events immediately, but I will eventually. The problem is I want to do them ASAP, so we'll see what these other 2 orders... Okay, well, if we're cutting to through Glades, Yeah, parts would be great as well, otherwise. This does result in me with having less wood, I think, because to do this, yeah, I would have to fulfill a need and then push resolve. But I think I'd rather, because cutting through glades, I don't usually favor that. You will get it done eventually, but I usually, yeah, let's go for the resolve. Let's try to focus on the resolve as well, and they really want me to sell stuff. I mean, if they really want to push for it, because, yeah, other than this, we have the herb garden, so it's not like we're gonna really be able to make oil. Unless there's something else that the game, that these, the glades around me have. Actually, I should just check here. So... I forgot what exactly makes... I could actually check the recipes. I don't know why I'm just sitting here wondering. But... So, wheat, meat... Yeah, I thought vegetables could, but... Do I want to use vegetables for that? Would that be... That would probably be my first settlement if I decided to try and do it, to use vegetables to basically make use of heavy press here. But... we can do 5 purging fire 2 if we just use up all the wood. Yeah, because I don't know what I'm gonna sell. I don't have any trade goods. I can make a makeshift post, but yeah, we're just gonna take purging fire, or we're gonna try for it. Now I need to look at how many planks I've made, because I don't need to be making planks left and right. You will always need them at a certain point, but I think if we're gonna do that. Yeah, we need bricks. 3 bricks before I do that. But again, we want to focus Harpy Resolve. So after this storm season, we are going to cut into a glade, maybe 2, and see what happens. That does mean I have less woodcutters in that case, but we'll see what I ultimately decide to do. Because I want hostility to be under 1, so I can do a thing. But it depends on how many newcomers we get as well. Definitely need to cut into a glade, otherwise we have people just kind of standing around, though. But we'll see. So... where are we getting stone marrow from? Oh, from these ashen trees. Completely forgot. All things considered, if I'm going to cut into a glade, it should probably be this one. The one next, midway between the hearth and the warehouse. Again, I like to say these things out loud. If for one reason out of many is that people on mobile might not be able to see what's on screen, or maybe they're just listening to my voice as I narrate, so it's good to narrate. And so yeah, I have 2 small glades, both right next to the hearth, but one of them is closer to the warehouse as well, which makes a bit more sense if we're looking for time efficiency. But that's a different thing entirely. We have 2 people just standing around, not much we can do about that. Might have to cut both these glades open, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah, and we're losing all of our eggs. But let us have the Harpy start using coats immediately, so that they can start benefiting from that, and we'll see what happens. So we'll have these beavers cut open this glade really quickly, while we also accept these newcomers. But first, so rich glades. Every time we finish our trade route, we're not really planning to do that. I understand the need to keep trade routes active most of the time, but I just don't. But anywho. So, yeah, and then I could buy paste to help out the Harpy thing. I could also grab the small farm here. But I think I would rather buy paste to try and do this order ASAP. So basically trading amber. Did this amber come with this caravan? I feel like it did. Anywho. So yeah, we're gonna allow paste among everyone actually. So we're gonna eat through our eggs first, but that's not as much of a problem. We're gonna accept these newcomers now too. Mushrooms. Funny enough, we're gonna take the 2 villager one, if not just for the hostility, but to do a thing. Anywho. I'm forgetting what I'm going to say at the moment. We might as well favor the Harpies here. And what do we have? We have a mine, we have mushrooms, and then we have vegetables. So, I mean, it's only 1, but you get the point. Do we have to disable every single woodcutter? We do. So let's make sure we're not using wood anywhere, although we do need to make more shelter, but our wood is controlled at the moment. We need to control our wood. We need to control our wood. And I think we would have to disable every single wood. Yeah, we'd have to do that. And let's let this go. But we will set up this mine if for no other reason than these Thunder Blight shards. You got the thing. We're doing a thing. We'll set the mine up like this, and 4 beavers can go in. We should also concentrate on grabbing some of these. If there's anything that gives me leather, that would be nice, but no. So instead, we're gonna make this camp instead. Should probably have set up another camp, the mushrooms instead, but I think we'll be fine for the moment. So, yeah, this is gonna be copper ore. The odd thing about this is that we are going to, as the foxes take it in the face, when we make this house, it'll be better, but until then. Yeah, so because we only have 2 harpies, we immediately get a resolve boost. Like a big resolve boost, but hey. And we're not getting a lot of resolve, but again, this is for the order. I think I can actually disable, yeah, we can disable that. And then we can actually stop consumption, because we'll get that before the end. In fact, we can do the same for the coats here. And we grab our 2 harpies. We can also accept these 2 orders immediately as well, but I don't think I want to do that. So, make another shelter. We have 5 people at the moment. Yeah, we can do a thing, but let's see first. Make an offering. Decreases hostility, increases resistance. Otherwise, grab a bunch of temp stuff, which isn't, I don't think it's a bad idea either, but I'm just making the call now to do this. So, and yeah, I think we want to set this, we want to grab these mushrooms while we're here. And let's put these beavers back into this woodcutter's camp. If I could, I would put a harpy here, but I guess we'll see for the moment. With 1 camp, we should be held up for the year, but I guess we'll see. Ow. My hand! But, yeah, I guess we'll see. Let's start eating into everything else at the moment, because otherwise we are going to run out of food. I could also opt to have them eat this paste, but we'll hold off for the moment. I just noticed that we're not doing anything here. We can remove a beaver. Might as well remove one that's not working. We also have people sitting in this rain collector not doing much, but hey. So we don't need the storm water. Let's just do that. I think if I were to put other races in here, either the harpies or the foxes, I could probably push 15, but yeah. So what's next? Better bricks would be interesting, but am I going to use flour or copper bars? Not until I find fertile soil. Otherwise, we could start making coats now. Or pushing for coats. The barrels is the weird thing here. But we are getting copper ore. We can't make copper bars yet. I would take the cooperage primarily for the coats for the moment. But if and when we unlock something else, like, yeah, either the stamping mill or the smelter next blueprint, then sure. Yeah, I think I'll just push for coats now. And we'll see what happens. Now, do I have what I need to make this? No, we need more planks. So, I mean, we're cutting wood again, so we can afford to make planks. Let's actually focus those at the moment. And I probably should make 2 harpy houses if I can. Yeah, so we'll get started on these. Now, if I need the cloth later, I need these harpy houses now. Or I want these harpy houses now. Is what I mean to say. We can put a path open here. Or make a path there. And we'll see what else we can do. We should have enough to house everyone for the next season, though, but I guess we'll find out. So, hearth space, we'll cut these trees really quickly. I should put these, yeah, we'll put it closer here. And then, yeah, we're leaving 1 beaver open to cut, or to, to build things. And then micromanagement. No leather, though. Or no more leather is what I should say. So I guess we hold on to these because we are getting resin from trees. So if and when we make this cooperage, we can make use of the coats, is what I'm trying to say. Alternatively, I could, well, after these camps are essentially depleted, we make the blight post. I think is the plan. Yeah, that's the plan. I think, what is it, 3? Yeah, no, yeah, +5, so +5, 10, at least 10 more mushrooms and 5 more vegetables, but obviously, with any other bonuses, it can be a lot more than that. Anywho. Here's where I remember that I need to make a park. And we don't have any wood, so, whoops. Goodness me. Why did I do this to myself? Well, back to making bricks. Actually, I could opt to do this instead. But we do need... We do want to make this park, by the way. We want to make 2 parks. We probably have... Yeah, we have enough to get to level 2. So, 2 parks and a garden. Rip planks, but... Hay. And then cooperage. So, actually, we put this here. Oh, goodness, we can't fit it there. We put it there. I could throw this trading post, actually, behind the hearth, but... The important part is I want to make a cooperage close by. And I know I have these camps just sitting around, but we could use them. Now, funny enough, the cooperage, the specialization bonus is for beavers, but I think we'll be fine for the moment. So change this to resin and leather. And yeah, we'll do some switcheroos when need be. Otherwise, we could use the... Yeah, we could end up making planks and or bricks to upgrade this mine. But we'll see, I guess, won't we? I mean, it's not like we need this immediately, so we can take one away. And then start making coats now. Yeah, we'll find out. This is not in range? Is it in range? I guess we're gonna find out. Let's definitely make sure it's in range now. But, yeah, we do want to prioritize these. Wow, we made the garden first because we didn't have any logs. We do here. Yeah, let's just return that. And yeah, this one beaver here should be okay. Now, we're gonna do this as well. Although I would have liked to. Well, yeah, no, we can. If we get more pipes, we can pipe this apothecary. We can put a rain engine in the apothecary, but well, bleh. If I want to be safe, I can open this glade now. But I guess we'll see. Until then, we'll just stall for time by cutting these trees over here, which will be just as good, I think. So away we go. Not really much else to micromanage at the moment. Nothing else is happening, so we'll see. Keeping in mind, yeah, I could push for 15 resolve right now, but I think we'll wait just a little longer. Maybe that's not to my benefit, but hey. That being said, I could make this blight post. Yeah, I should probably just make this blight post now. Yeah, we'll make this blight post now. Especially since we have a builder just kind of sitting around, but hey. We're not using wood anywhere else, so it's just disappearing somewhere. Isn't it? Yeah, crude workstation, park. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, crude workstation, but we didn't need 2 anymore, so... Yeah, that's all I have to say at the moment. Now, my next concern is what happens in the next year, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, I guess we'll see. And we should be good through this storm. Yeah, we need to set up this last park for the extra resolve. Would have been very nice, but we didn't. Also, I can have people start using coats now. But because essentially, right now, leather and resin are essentially not... They're not reliable resources, so that's why I'm just holding on to things. But maybe that's the wrong call. Because I could push... Well, can I push beavers too? No, I can't. Pretty sure I can't. Yeah, I can't push them to blue resolve. Harpies I can if I give them coats. It won't be a lot of resolve, but... Oh, I'm using wood in the hearth. Which I should probably switch to marrow, actually. So, yeah, let's do that really quickly. We're gonna run out of this in the middle of the storm, but I think we can afford to just kind of wait a little longer. We're gonna have some free builders just standing around, but I think that's fine. Let's actually stick a fox and a beaver here so that we can... I think we'll prioritize sea marrow, funny enough, still. But let's make some purging fires. Shouldn't have any cysts. We do have a long storm to get through, though. And if need be, I mean, we can still kind of juggle things, but I think we'll just use some pickled goods here, just to be safe. Also, I think we're about to run out of food as well. In fact, no, we're not. The rationing is hurting me a little bit, but if I stop these woodcutters as well, I could avoid using some pickled goods, but I think it's worth it just to use the pickled goods here. I think instead, actually, I'm going to just ration them out completely to the foxes, and I don't think the beavers should suffer for it. And then, yeah, because we made harpy houses, the harpies don't have to worry about their resolve. Now, we do have to make we're doing assisting there, but hey. And if we have logs, we'll use logs, but otherwise, yeah, I think we'll just use sea marrow for the moment, even though we are also burning at the hearth, but use the resources we have to get the boosts we need. So with that, I think they'll last. We can kind of turn this off as well, but we'll see. No more vegetables. And yeah, throwing beavers into the mine helps somewhat, but if we have a free builder, let's have them extend this path, or extend these paths, because we should probably come into a dangerous glade next. Especially if and when we make these 5 purging fires, which we do need to make, so, yeah, but we'll see. But otherwise, yeah, we'll continue focusing on cutting down these trees. This is not a... Oops. This isn't... Yeah, that isn't part of the glade yet, anyway. And I would like to make more planks. I don't think I actually want to, question mark? No, we don't want to. No, we don't. So let's have this beaver kind of walk around into this mine. Yeah, this should be controlled for the most part. If I wanted to, I could also throw foxes into these buildings so that I can give them resolve. But I think with the pickled goods, we should be able to last. We can't. Well, we can accept these newcomers. We can take a look. 6 coal is an interesting pick, but yeah, right after that, I think we should be okay with 5 purging fires. On top of that. So we don't really have anything we can really use. Otherwise, complex food production. I do want to make complex food at some point. The question is what we do afterward. Probably rainwater. Without the penalty. Oops. Dying villagers leave behind small fisherman totems if villagers die. Otherwise, we need 45. I think I could take the impatience points though. And then 10 purging fire saves a lot of resources, so I don't, and time, so I don't have to make them. But complex food production is also nice. Food production speed, but that would require me. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, let's cut into this dangerous glade first, and then find out. But first, we'll let the storm pass before I do anything rash. So yeah, well, yeah, we let it pass. So nothing else I can really do at the moment. Upgrade mine. Yeah, this would require something like this. We can trade bricks. I guess we might as well. I'm not sure. 1 minute of mine. So here's a little thing. Yeah, here's a little thing I always think about from time to time. Free builders, how long to leave free builders just like lying around, whether you have 3 or in this case 7, before it becomes too inefficient. Obviously, you don't want to have them just keep being where they are, but it's not like I don't need the copper ore either. So 80 copper ore for 15 bricks, although we're not really producing any planks, bricks, or fabric really efficiently, so using those bricks for that upgrade purpose I don't think would be too intuitive. And in fact, we can throw 3 beavers into the woodcutters camp. So you know what, yeah, we'll leave things as they are for the moment. Again, the primary reason I don't cut into glades during storm, unless I have obviously the cornerstone for it for tools, is you could get a cornerstone that has to do with opening glades. This storm should end before I have to worry about resolve like that. Yeah. Even if we were on a prestige where the villagers leave faster, I think we'll be okay. So we'll kind of let this just run its course. And yeah, we have to stand here for a moment. I don't think there's really anything else we can do. We could have made housing, actually. I should actually do that while we're sitting here, not doing much with our lives. We'll even make 2 shelters. But as we enter this, I should have actually... Okay, so actually, let's just do a bunch of stuff. We did not get... Oh, yeah, you don't get perks during it, I just realized. Never mind. Well... Let's cut into this glade, and I think I'll call it a video. We will also accept these villagers. I should have also accepted these orders. That's the other thing, but we'll see. Beavers resolve. Yeah, sure. We might end up selling things, but we'll see. Oh my sweet. No, we can't make scrolls. Never mind. Toss that out the window. Trade roots with multipliers. So that will require me to make thingy-majiggies, but for the moment, let us cut into this glade. Oops. Yeah, let's cut into this glade and then I'll stop the video. So, it should happen within, like, seconds here. Especially since I'm cutting things, and let's do this. So, we finally have fertile soil. I'm not going to get to use it this year. Otherwise, we need 12. Well, so this is why we would have had the 20 amber would have been nice. But otherwise, yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see, won't we? I could sell things off to get the amber required. And all things considered, I didn't need to feed harpies that much paste. So there was a bit of a fumble here. But I think we can still deal with things. Out of curiosity, though, what would I need to do? I mean, I could probably end up selling parts as well. That would probably be something I do, because then we can just make use of this fertile soil. We'll put 4 villagers in the fertile soil. And we'd still have villagers left over, mind us. Also, we have a root. We have roots here. And then we have a blueprint, I realized. A lot of roots, basically, possible, but we didn't get that. So instead... Oh, well, now here's the oil thing. So we can also swerve to oil. But yeah, that's something I can think about before the next video. So we can make super oil in terms of... getting oil from the cornerstone forage, but also just deciding to set up the vegetable farm instead of the herb garden. But again, that's something for me to think about. So yeah, without further ado, if you didn't already hear it, as I said, the Against the Storm videos might come slower for a week, maybe 2, but really at least a week, because I am concentrating on other stuff. So without further, you'll know what those things are if you've been with this channel for a while, but not really much else to say. So if you want to say anything, if you want to support me, if you don't want to support me, all that is cool. But specifically for comments on this platform, yeah, I usually try to read them. Hoping people are not robots, and I will, usually try to take a look, think about things. If I can't figure out what to say, I usually at least leave a like and stuff. But if you want to like this video as well, that's fine. But yeah, I'm not going to take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching. Bye.